Today we'll be making some really tasty and mouth-watering tacos. No chickens were harmed while filming this, and all the fillings that we'll be making today are completely vegan. So if you love tacos and want some vegan options and the different ways in which you can make them, then watch this video until the end. Hi, I'm Srikant Singh and welcome to our channel Happy Bellyfish. So last week we learned how to make flour tortillas from cornmeal, and now we'll be putting those tortillas to good use with some really tasty fillings. So we'll be making the main filling with unripe jackfruits. We'll also be making some oyster mushrooms, really delicious ones, some spicy tomato salsa, and a very simple avocado guacamole. You can of course make these fillings with chicken if you prefer, and everything that I'm showing you will work with that as well. Jackfruits are not in season in India at this time. It's the beginning of winter, so I'm going to use canned jackfruits for the main filling. It's convenient and it's easily available these days in supermarkets or even online. This canned jackfruit is preserved in brine and nothing else, and it's really very salty. Like it swam across the 7 seas just to come and meet me. Now it says on the instruction that it must be soaked in water for at least 15 minutes and then it must be rinsed at least twice. So I'm doing just that, and while we let the jackfruit soak in water, let's look at what else we can prepare. So the first ingredient that we'll need is a medium-sized onion. Chop it fine like this into long strands, and I know medium is a relative definition, so the amount of onions that you will need is a quarter of the amount of jackfruit that you will be using. Too much onion and the jackfruit will lose its purpose in life. I'm also going to use 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. This one has nothing but tomato and salt with no other preservatives. And you will need 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard for some pungency. Regular mustard sauce will also do. For some sweetness and a twist in the taste, we will add 1 tablespoon of palm sugar or jaggery, as we call it in India. They taste much better than refined sugar. Then we'll be adding some smoked paprika, and this is that key ingredient that will make your jackfruit taste like it just came straight out of the barbecue without it actually being there. And because smoked paprika is just smoke and not hot enough, we will add half a tablespoon of red chili powder, or you can choose any other chili pepper powder that you have that is hot to some degree. Other spices that you will need are half a tablespoon of coriander powder and half a tablespoon of dried oregano to get a nice floral essence. And that's how you make jackfruit taste like chicken. It already has the texture, and we magically coat it with some secret sauce and spices and then turn it into headless chicken. But I still love my chicken. Now let's get back to the jackfruit. You have to rinse it at least twice or even thrice to make sure that it's not too salty. All that excess salt has been washed off. You can just take a piece of it, taste it, and see if you have to rinse it one more time. We will take the jackfruit cubes and start giving it some shape and texture with a fork, and you can even shred it with a knife or with your bare hands. But do not use a food processor just to be quick and dirty. And certainly do not chop it very fine. And if you're lucky enough to find some seeds, do not discard them. They're actually quite tasty and very much belong to this dish. I think they blanch or boil these jackfruits before adding it to the brine and then canning them. So it's halfway cooked, and you just have to cook it for 10 more minutes, and you will notice that it tastes like artichokes without adding any additional spices. But of course, we'll be making it much more interesting than just boiled artichokes. Add around 2 tablespoons of oil to a pan, and I'm using groundnut oil. You can use any oil of your choice that you want to. Add all the jackfruits to it and mix them well. Cook for around 2 to 3 minutes and slide it to one side of the pan, because on the other side we'll cook the onions. Add just about 1 tablespoon of oil to the empty side of the pan and then add the onions. Now, the reason I did not start with cooking the onions first is because I wanted to exclusively sear the jackfruits and dry out the excess moisture. This will make the jackfruits a bit more chewy, and it will have the texture which is much closer to the meat. You need to just sweat the onions but not brown them. We still want it to taste a little sweet and not charred. Cook the onions for a minute separately and then mix it with the jackfruits. Now we will add all the spices. Add coriander, red chili powder, smoked paprika, dried oregano, and mix it evenly. Add the tomato paste. You can add more tomato paste if you want the jackfruits to come out more succulent and juicy. Add the sugar and add the Dijon mustard and mix all the ingredients very well. Now we will add around 2 tablespoons of water to this, and this will help in mixing the ingredients evenly. Cook for around 5 minutes on medium heat, and our main filling, the shredded jackfruit chicken in vegan avatar, is ready. And it really tastes very nice, I must admit it. It's the first time I was making it this way, and it turned out to be really nice. And if you have enjoyed this video so far, then please hit that like and subscribe button. I have to remind you this each time because it helps us sustain our work. And if you wish to download our free spice guide for the beginners or even experts, then the link is in the description. And now it's time to prepare the side cakes, and without them the tacos will be incomplete. So the first thing we'll make is an easy guacamole with some really ripe avocados. The avocado is so ripe that actually can't even show it to you. It just fell apart when I was trying to cut it. But you will need 1 cup of avocado pulp. You will have to add some salt as per your taste. I'm just adding about half a teaspoon of it, and about 1 tablespoon or half a tablespoon of lemon juice. You need to adjust the quantity here. That's it. These 3 ingredients will make you a very simple avocado guacamole. I don't know what else you can make guacamole with, but I think avocado is the only one. So this guacamole is not going to be an elaborate one because I'm going to make tomato salsa separately. And for this, we will be taking 2 medium-sized tomatoes, slice them into half, and make sure you remove the green part of the tomatoes. They don't taste well, and it's also believed that they're not good for you. Chop some garlic as fine as possible. We'll be using this garlic in many other recipes that we are making today. Slice the jalapeno into half, but before that you need to find a jalapeno. It's not an easy ingredient to find everywhere around the world. So if you don't have it, use a green chili. Just 1 is hot enough for me, but you can add more if you feel like. And remember that you have to remove the seeds before we move on to the next step, which is frying these ingredients. Add some oil to the pan and place the tomatoes and the jalapenos with their cut side on the pan. You can also make salsa with uncooked tomatoes. There's nothing wrong with it, but I'm going to sear the tomatoes and jalapenos for a few minutes to get a deeper flavor. Keep the heat on medium, and after around 2 minutes, turn them over and cook for another 2 minutes. Remove them from the pan before your neighbor comes complaining that you're making the whole neighborhood cough with chili smoke. Allow this to cool before adding it to a chopper. Add 1 teaspoon of chopped garlic and around half a tablespoon of lemon juice. I'm going to chop them fine in the chopper and not blend them into a puree. It would be nice to have small chunks of tomatoes and jalapenos when it's chopped. Empty the chopper jar into a bowl and add some finely chopped onions and coriander leaves. They will give a very nice texture to the salsa and also a very good floral essence. And of course the onion breath, which will let everyone know that you had some really good tacos. I'm not adding any salt here because our other recipes, they have plenty of salt in them, and this tomato salsa can help it balance it out. And now my favorite part, oyster mushrooms. All you have to do is rinse it once, squeeze it, drain out the excess water, and I add them just to get a nice texture. But before cooking these large oyster mushrooms, you need to separate them into smaller pieces. And to cook these, add about a tablespoon of oil to the pan that is on medium heat. Add 1 teaspoon of finely chopped garlic and cook this garlic for around half a minute. Don't brown them, we just want it to get a little soft. If the garlic burns, then that will be the only thing that you will taste in the tacos. Now add the mushrooms and cook it for around 5 minutes. Toss and turn them a couple of times, not too frequently. And it will come out cooked in a way that it is browned, it is seared nicely on one side. Add just about a pinch of salt to it. This will help in bringing out the flavor of the mushroom. Now this particular mushroom works best in our dish mainly because of its texture and because it does not have a very strong dominating umami flavor. And once these are cooked, keep this hidden away from young curious onlookers because I think I lost half of this before I could use it in the tacos. I also like to add some pickled carrots, onions, beetroots and jalapenos, and pickles are something that I love. These are pickles that are easy to make It's something that I make just a day before when I have planned to make tacos the next day. And all they are preserved in is brine. The brine that I have made contains about a liter of water with 2 teaspoons of salt and about half a cup of vinegar. Place the cut vegetables into small jars. You don't need to blanch them, and put this brine over them. Make sure they're covered completely in brine. Nothing should be exposed. Keep it outside for a day until you make your tacos. And when you make these tacos, you can choose any ingredients in any order. They all work. But I like to add the guacamole first, and then the smoked jackfruit, and top it up with generous amount of tomato salsa, cooked oyster mushrooms, and finally these pickles. Next time you're going to a party, you can keep people busy with these tacos and how you made them. You will find the link to the written recipe on our website, so you can copy it and share it with them. But I think I'll be packing this for school lunch for now. Let me know how it turned out for you, and I will see you soon in the next video.